All righty, you are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff-bound New York Giants will be taking on the 0-16 Seattle Seahawks. And why the Seattle Seahawks 0-16? Because they suck. Man, that never gets old. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all is going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Or if anybody's going to spend time watching the replay this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say? Oh, got to move the chair. My buddy Randy's here. There we go. All right, Randy's here. We're okay. Anybody got anything to say? Please feel free. Fire away, throw in the chat box. I usually try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes. So as soon as I see something in there, try to respond to as fast as I can. So please feel free and fire away. Plus, also, just rambling on for half an hour, 45 minutes, or whatever it might want to be. And it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. Hey, Jersey guys in the house. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below. The top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. Second one's called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level I got is called the Gridiron. Each one has their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, I thank you so much in advance. And it would mean so much to me. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I could use all the support I can get, guys. But if not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. That's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But thank you if you are subscribed to my channel. And then also, finally, also in the description box below, there's 3 links. Top one takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. Second one is my Twitter, whatever Elon Musk, whatever letter he's of the alphabet he's going to call it this week, X, Q, P, Y, whatever. To me, it's Twitter. So if you want to check out my Twitter account, and then finally TikTok. That's the third link. I put some videos up there. Try to get some videos up there every day. So if you want to, check that stuff out, please feel free. Go right ahead. In the group, we have over 6,700 members. It's growing really, really well. So, all right, with all that stuff said and done that away with. All right, guys. Well, we're getting down there. Of course, it's not quite. We gotta wait till Monday night. But this is once again, it's not a must-win game. If you don't plan on making the playoffs, shall we say? But if they go 1-3, a lot of also if they lose, like say 27-26, and you see some glimmer of hope there, okay, Can't be a blowout. Especially when we got the Dolphins and we have the Bills. You could see, it's quite possibly turning into a 1-5 thing. So this game is really, really huge for the Giants. At least they had a lot of time off. They can work on some things. Hopefully get some players back. So speaking of about some players back, it's not looking too great for Andrew Thomas. New York Giants are back at practice on Friday, this time working inside the field house with Mother Nature dumping buckets of water on the Northeast. Yeah, I'm in South Jersey, and we get quite a bit of – it's still raining out here. Actually, it's misting out here a little bit, but yeah, it's pretty much all day it's been raining. The concerning development for the Giants was the status of left tackle Andrew Thomas with his hamstring, who appeared to take a step backwards. He did not participate on Friday after being limited in practice on Thursday. Now, obviously, Coach Brian Daboll refused to say Thomas suffered a setback and wouldn't address his chances of playing on Monday night. He said it's the right thing to do, Daboll said, of Thomas not practicing, adding that the left tackle received treatment. All right. And then, of course, in a more positive injury-related news, running back Saquon Barkley practiced for the second consecutive day, as did linebacker Azeez Ojulari with his hamstring. And the thing is, it's like, these hamstrings, and especially with Barkley. If he goes in there, say 75%, say 80%, do you want to, have him in there 80%, and then maybe something, and then for the next few weeks, he's playing at 70% or 65% because now he's trying to come back too early? Or do you put him on the shelf for another week or two and hopefully he comes back at 95% in a couple weeks? That's a tough one. That's a tough one. And of course, like with Ojulari, these hamstrings, they can be certainly tricky as well too. So Andrew Thomas did not participate. Limited in practice was Azeez Ojulari, Saquon, Daniel Bellinger with a neck, and DJ Davidson, his elbow. Full participation was Ben Bredesen. So apparently he's out of concussion protocol. Looks like he's going to be good to go, thankfully. So what do we got? We got 5 guys, right? So, of course, 2 of them are like our best players on offense. So that doesn't help much at all. Hopefully Daniel Bellinger will be okay with his neck. But this is like the first time, I can't even remember. This is my 3rd season I've been doing these YouTube videos. The first one I did, actually I started, it was like way before, the 2021 season. It was I think I started in March of 2021. I started just before the draft of 2021. So I did the 2021 season. I did the 2022 season. Now I'm doing the 2023 season, obviously. And this might be I don't know. I gotta, my memory stinks. But recent memory anyway, this might be the first time that I can remember looking at the Giants injured players and then looking at another team's injury players. And I'm like, shocked. The other team's injured player is almost like double what the Giants. Usually it's the Giants double the other team. And if the Giants don't double the other team as far as the amount of injured players we have, they got more. Like if say the Cowboys got 5, the Giants have at least 8 or 9. Maybe may not quite have 10, but they're sure as heck going to have 8 or 9. Or if the Eagles have 4, the Giants are going to have at least 6 or 7. It always seems like we got more than the other team. This might be the first time. The Seahawks have been banged up, especially in the secondary. But remember, we are still in a rebuild. Right? Last year rose the bar. The season really kicked in. Future looks good for the future. Absolutely. But look at the Seahawks. Last week, I think they had like 4 backup offensive linemen in there. Now, of course, they were playing the Panthers, right? But, Adams was out. Their star safety. Obviously, he's not much. A lot. Not the greatest in coverage, but he's good at launching himself through the line of scrimmage and at the quarterback, and maybe in tackling. All guy makes things happen. But they've had a lot of guys injured, and for them to be 2-1. It's pretty doggone impressive. Now they got a lot of guys on this injury list. It shrank a little bit because like Thursday, my goodness, did not participate. Let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They had 10 guys who did not participate on Thursday. They had 3 guys who were limited and 2 guys that were on injury, like Jamal Adams with his knee. He was full participation on Thursday. And then Woolen, their cornerback, he had something wrong with his chest, but he was full participation. But they were listed on the injury report, so they had 15 guys. They kicked the Giants' butt, so not complaining about that. This is one of the times you want the Giants to actually lose, and if they can lose big time in the injury report, cool. I'm all up for it. But on Friday, let's see here. They got 3 cornerbacks. Wow, Burns, Brown, and Bryant, the Killer Bees. They had 3 cornerbacks who did not participate. One with a hamstring, Burns with a hamstring, Brown with a concussion, and Kobe Bryant. No, Kobe Bryant, yeah, with a toe. Then Jones, the defensive end, with a hip. Charles Cross with a toe. And I heard he might come back, but he didn't participate on Friday. And then Derek Hall, linebacker, with a knee. Then they got limited Disley with a shoulder. J Love with special sauce. He's got a hamstring. Quandre Diggs with another safety. He's got a hamstring. Phil Haynes with a calf, and Evan Brown with a quadricep. Their center. So, I mean, and then you look at Jamal Adams, full participation on Friday with the knee. Woolen, cornerback with the chest, and DK Metcalf with ribs. So, but I'm saying, but if you look, Jamal Adams hasn't played since last year. I don't know how you possibly tear your quad, but man, that sounds freaking painful. That sounds freaking painful. I don't know how you do something like that, but Jamal Adams did it. But if you look here on the injury report here, they got 4 cornerbacks and 3 safeties on this list here. I mean, even Jamal Adams, if he comes back, right? His first time he's played in let's just say about a year. There's no way in HELL hockey sticks that he's playing the whole game. Absolutely no way. He's going to be, he'll probably be on a pitch count. Could be 30 snaps, could be 4. Who knows? But I'd have a hard time believing he's not in football shape. There's no way he's in football shape. That I'd have a hard time believing that he'll be out there the whole game. So, I mean, they got 3 safeties. 2 of them were limited, and obviously Jamal Adams, who I have a hard time believing he's going to play the whole game. Then they got 3 cornerbacks who did not participate in practice on Friday. And obviously, that certainly does not mean 100% they're not going to play. Because don't forget, we're not talking Sunday here. We're talking Monday. We're not talking Monday morning, afternoon. We're talking Monday night. So they have time. But 3 safeties and 4 cornerbacks, that's a lot. Of course, then we have, let's see here, the safety, Evan Brown, and then Charles Cross. So they still got a couple offensive linemen on this list here as well, too. I mean, they got a defensive end, they got a linebacker. And then they got Haynes, a guard. So they got 3 offensive linemen, 3 safeties, and 4 cornerbacks on this list here. So they are banged up. Certainly does not mean, that all these guys will not participate or whatever, but they got some injuries problems of their own. And I'll tell you what, boy, it might be the first time I can remember. I say even going back to Joe Judge's his second season. I mean, as far as looking at injury reports, and the other team is just kicking the Giants' butt. I mean, I'm shocked. No wonder so be it. And he took a step back, but with Shane and Dable, so we have to bring in guys that will get their on the field and compete. Yep, that's right. That's right. Well, I mean, you got to give them. Obviously, we're still. Rebuild. You got to give them another couple of years. Get all the guys in that they want. I mean, because a lot of the stuff you don't know if they plan on what they're going to do with Xavier McKinney, right? Adoree Jackson, what are they going to do with him? Obviously, Leonard Williams, what are they going to do with him? So they got some guys that, that might be on their way out, and they obviously have to replace them. You got to get another couple more drafts in here. Hopefully we can get something figured out with this offensive line, somewhere along the line, figure out what we're going to do with Neal. Yeah, you got to give him, obviously, at least to the end of the season or so, because he's only played, I think 16 or 17 games, and even some of the games he played last year, he was injured. So by the end of the season, we'll have some type of an idea what we're going to do. If we keep him out there, do we see enough from him? Or he looks kind of optimistic where he might work out there at the right tackle, or do we have to maybe slide him in a right guard or whatever? We'll have to wait and see. Also, nice to see with McKeithen in there, because if we got McKeithen in there, because you figure if Thomas goes or not. If Thomas goes, it'll be Thomas, Bredesen, John Michael Schmitz, McKeithen, Kolinsky. You can pretty much rest assured this will be his final season with the Giants. But McKeithen and then Neal. So it's nice having McKeithen in there, because get him some reps and all that, and see does he look optimistic for the future. But then if Thomas doesn't go, then you have to have Azudu take his place, right? So, then you'll have Azudu, Bredesen, John Michael Schmitz, McKeithen, and Neal. The one nice thing is that they don't have maybe the greatest pass rush. They're very good, especially with Wagner. Wagner's not the greatest in coverage, right? So this might be a good game. The Giants might try to start, airing it out a little bit more. It wouldn't be such a bad idea. Wagner's great against the run. Their run defense is very, very good. They average like less than 3 yards a carry given up. Although they played like some statues for quarterbacks, like Goff, right, against the Lions, Stafford against the Rams, Dalton. Even though Andy Dalton, he had a couple runs there, I believe it was, but there was no Michael Vick back there. There's no Jalen Hurts, right? And they weren't facing anybody. They weren't facing the Daniel Jones either. But at least their run defense against the opposing teams, for the most part, their running backs, they're very, very good. So this would be a good game to get the passing attack going. Although, of course, you don't want to give up on the run either. I hope we don't have another game like we did. We had, 11 runs against the 49ers. And 2 of them were from DJ. So we had, 7 or 8 carries from our running backs. Dolphins under Don Shula. So it made the playoffs in rebuilding years. Not bad. Oh, yeah. A lot of people say, some people would say, Don Shula, he'll take his and he'll beat yours with his players. Then Don Shula could take your players and beat his player. He was just that good. Some guys were just that good. They were just that good. All right. Let's see here what we got here. Oh, and in here, it's fun here. Where was Shepard? Whew. He had 2 snaps, was it last time? Yeah, he had 2 snaps in there against the 49ers. Let me get this right here. Hold on. Make sure I got this offense here. It was 2 snaps. He had 14 snaps in week 1, 10 in week 2 against Arizona, and 2 snaps last. So he's had 26 snaps in 3 games. His production's been going down. Now, even when we had, all of that, that comeback in the second half against Arizona, he still only had 10 snaps for the whole game. Then as soon as thing is the writing on the wall for him, I certainly hope not. But the one thing is that, with Shepard's diminishing role, especially in the beginning of the season, as well, as Shepard should know, right? Your best ability is your availability, right? And what happens with the Giants, especially a lot of their wide receivers and all, injuries, right? So, his role might be diminishing now or whatever, but, like what happened last year, right? Shep got hurt, what was it, week 3, then whatever, a little later on, Wan'Dale Robinson got injured, Daniel Bellinger got his eye socket broken or whatever happened there. So we had some of our receivers / tight ends, whatever, got injured last year, right? So what happened then, right? Had to start bringing the cavalry in, right? So, and I certainly don't want nobody getting injured, certainly, but injuries are part of the game. Now, if he stays healthy, something happens, things pop up or whatever like that. If he's healthy, things might start turning around for him. Because, as we know, he's got a nice connection going with Daniel Jones. If I can find it here we go. They got some comfortability with each other. Go back to, like 2020, because it's tough to go back to 2021 and 2022 and 2023 because he hasn't played much. 2021, he started in 6 games. He played a grand total of 7 games. But in those 7 games, he caught 36 passes. He caught 5 passes a game. Then, of course, he got injured. Let's see, last season, he played in 3 games, caught 13 balls. He only started in 2 of them. So he wasn't even in there the full time, and he caught 13 passes in 3 games. So that's over 4 catches a game. Let's see. If you go back to, it's hard. You have to go back to 2019. Oh, no, I'm sorry, 2018 for his last full season. But, if you go back to 2020 with Daniel Jones in there, right? Shep played in 12 games, caught 66 passes. That's 5.5 catches a game. So basically every 2 games, he caught 11 balls. There's familiarity there. There's comfort there. Then you got in 2019 when Daniel Jones first started playing, right? He played 10 games. Of course, he got injured once again, but he had 57 catches, almost 5.5 catches a game once again. So basically, every 2 games, he's catching 11 passes. So he's got familiarity there with Daniel Jones. So I'm kind of shocked that they're not using him more. I mean, unless somehow, maybe unless like he I don't know, he lost a step or 2 or whatever. I'm having a hard time believing they can't get him in the game. I'm really, really shocked that they can't find some kind of connection between. They got they got Paris Campbell in there is averaging like 4 yards of reception. I'm surprised that they can't get. But I'm really shocked. Especially when we're down, and you need something. Give me a catch, anything. Sterling Shepard. He's always had that comfort with Daniel Jones. I don't, as I said, unless he's like just really lost a step or 2, I'm having a hard time believing they can't get him in the game. Really having a hard time believing that. Don Shula, great read. Oh, very good. Well, I'll have to read that sometime. Yeah, I don't have the book. There's a book with the Giants I'm reading right now. So whenever I get a chance during the day, I try to read it. I got a couple other books downstairs for the Giants I try to read too. So I only got so much time. He's in between doing these videos. Like I'll be putting 2 videos out today, listening to stuff, reading and all. Unfortunately, there's only so much time in the day, that I got to read. So I got like a couple other Giant books downstairs I got to read. So there's so much. He's worried about it. Yeah, well, we're doing the Dayton Triangles tonight. Oh yeah. that'll be the Giants' seventh win in a row. They'll be 7-3. And then the next game they do is possibly the game that might have the one game that might have saved the Giants organization, period. The next game after the Dayton Triangles, it's the Red Grange Chicago Bear game at the Polo Grounds. The Giants were in the red like about $40,000 after like whatever 10 games. Tim Mara's just losing money left and right. There's one game. Red Grange came in with the Bears into Polo Grounds. People were climbing over the fences just to get in. It was sold out. It was freaking crazy. They made like $100 and something thousand, and he made like, I don't know, $60,000-$70,000 or something like that. And it's just that one game, and I finally put him in the black. But he was losing money left and right after 10 games, about $40,000 in the red. And who knows? If Red Grange, it wasn't the Bears, it was Red Grange. He was like Jesus Christ back then. And if it wasn't for Red Grange, I don't know. He might have lost $40,000-$50,000 after the first season. Now, what would he have done? Well, I lost $50,000 last year. What's going to happen this year? I can't afford to, $50,000 back in 1925. That's a lot of money. Yeah, what was he going to do? I lost $50,000 last year. What's going to happen there? I'm going to lose another $50,000 this year, and $50,000 and $50,000. Get the heck out of here. You don't know. So that was one game after the Dayton Triangle game that might have just saved the New York Football Giants. Play next minute. Yep. Oh yeah. Oh well, back then, yeah. Oh yeah, we beat them. Newt Rockne. He was he asked for us to take it easy on his guys and all that. The Giants whooped up on him pretty good. Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. I think we got here. Oh, here we go. I'm shocked with this Shepard thing here, but let's see. He said it once, twice, 3 times a lady. Sterling Shepard is frustrated about his shrinking role within the offense, but he did not make it in. into his 8th year with the team, and not the last man standing as the longest tenured Giants player by coming out and disparaging, anything about his standing with the franchise. Once, twice, a third time, Shepard insisted it is beyond his control. He cannot put himself onto the field. Thus far this season, he has barely been on it. If I worry too much about that other stuff, I can send myself down a rabbit hole and have a whole bunch of poor me situations, Shepard told the Post on Thursday, sitting on his stool in front of his locker as a large media group encircled Daniel Jones nearby. My mindset is not letting that happen, just staying ready for being patient, because you never know. You never know. Wan'Dale Robinson got hurt 2 times last year. He caught 1 pass against the Titans. He missed a couple games. Had a great game against the Lions. Boom, he's out for the season, right? So you never know when something's going to happen, and you know what I mean. You never know. You're on the sideline, and before you know it, boom, you're in the game. You're the main star, right? So let's see. Me moaning about it really ain't gonna do anything. There's more than a bit curious what is going down with Shepard. More to the point. What is not going down with Shepard, he was re-signed to a 1-year deal worth $1.3 million, essentially a veteran minimum contract. It was in many ways a reward for Shepard's upbeat persona and team-first attitude in 2022 when he tore his ACL. He proved his physical readiness in the summer, made the team, and viewed his activation for the season opener as validation that all his hard work and high spirits have paid off. Since then, not much. Shepard played 14 snaps against the Cowboys and 1 target with no catches. Then there was 10 snaps against Arizona, 1 target, 1 reception for 4 yards and a first down. In week 3, it was to miss him on the grass. He played 2 snaps. 2 snaps. I mean, yeah. But, I mean, it's kind of like the same thing with like last year with Darius Slayton. I mean, like, if you look at him, I think he was like number 7 on the depth chart or whatever it might have wound up being. But then, last year, but he just kept grinding and grinding and grinding. Then you have some injuries, right? Colin Johnson, boom, out for the season. Sterling Shepard, boom, out for the season. Wan'Dale Robinson, boom, out for the season. Daniel Bellinger, boom, he got hurt. He's out for a while, So, Darius Slayton just kept grinding, kept this right mindset. He stayed healthy. And before you know it, injury, and all of a sudden, boom, now you're on the field, buddy. Right? Now you're a star, right? So I think if Sterling Shepard hangs in there, I mean, as I said, once again, I certainly don't expect that. I don't want no injuries from nobody. Even on the Cowboys, even on the Eagles, anybody. I don't want nobody getting injured, but it's part of football. So, I mean, if he just hangs in there, somewhere along the line this season, he might be the star out there. And he's got that connection with Daniel Jones. So if he can ever get himself on the field, as I said, the only thing, I mean, unless he really lost himself a step or so, well, we'll find out. Yeah. Well, these hamstrings. I mean, man, I would just love to see Azeez Ojulari. I mean, my God. I mean, he's our best pass rusher. This is his 3rd season, so I mean, and he's not a first round pick, so he's only so we only got him for 4 years. Really interesting to see. I mean, Shane and Dable, they're going to want to put up with that. Well, he's great. I mean, it's like let's see what Chase Young, right? I mean, I'm not saying Azeez Ojulari is Chase Young, but Chase Young, I mean, dude's built like a freaking Greek god, I mean, the ability and the strength and all that stuff. He's always hurt. They didn't pick up his 5th-year option, right? I mean, somebody will buy, somebody will get him. Absolutely, of course. I mean, the guy's too much of a freak just not to sign next year. But they didn't pick up his 5th-year option. Why? He's never on the field. Choir guys that play. Yeah, I know. The injuries happen, but that was enough. The tune away. Oh, yeah. I think it was Jimmy Johnson Yeah, him. And, Jimmy John, whether because he was the Cowboys, Jimmy John's a smart freaking dude. He said, hurt players get hurt. Right? I mean, as I said, you look at Dexter Lawrence, right? I mean, some things happen. Somebody rolls into your leg, especially in the pile, and things happen. But, Sexy Dexy, he's out there double teamed all the time, giving it his all. Every game he's out there. Every game. Leonard Williams, he got injured last year, but I mean, was it 7th, 8th season? This is maybe his 8th or 9th season, whatever. I mean, last season was his first time he missed a game. He's always playing. And every play there's contact. Every play there's contact. It's not like a punter or a quarterback. You get the ball. I mean, the quarterbacks get killed. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, hand the ball off to Saquon. He runs. Okay, cool. Gets the next ball. Hands off to Breida. Okay, sets back. If there's when he actually has some time in the pocket, he throws a pass. Right. Then, but every play with Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams, right? Every play there's contact. And every week they're always there, always ready to play, I mean, he had his calf last year. He's trained the calf muscle, which can be a tough one. These soft tissue injuries, right? And then I think he got kneed or kicked or something like that. I think he said Kirk Cousins, when we played the Vikings the first game, I think kicked him in the thigh or something like that. Once again, tissue injury, right? That was a hamstring. I mean, it's like, I mean, that's what you're saying about Bill Parcells. I mean, it would. I mean, if Lawrence Taylor had some injury problems or something, that might be one thing. But oh yeah. I mean, especially if you come in and here's Azeez Ojulari. Oh, okay, he comes with the team. Okay, all right, we didn't draft him. He's not our guy. Okay, yeah, he's pretty good. But he's never on the field, right? So, it'd be interesting to see, what the Giants wind up doing him after 4 seasons, if they want to keep him around or not. I mean, unless by some miracle of God, I mean, maybe his next season he stays healthy the whole year. Who knows, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was unbelievable. Yep. He had, he had so many injuries, was it 89 against the Raiders? He had like a cracked bone in his foot or something like that. And he had a couple sacks, and he was in there he was tackling Bo Jackson and stuff like that. I mean, he would go in there, make a tackle. He's like hobbling off the field, and he'd run onto the bench, and he would sit down. And after the Giants were back on defense, he'd run on the field and do his thing. And just, oh yeah. But I mean, some of these guys just like, dude, are you ever going to stay healthy? I mean, it's just some of like mind-boggling to me. And I don't mean to degrade any of these guys, but like Ellerson Smith, how do you make it through college? How do you make it all those snaps? And like Shane Lemieux, it's either, what the heck is it? 32, 30 now, 30 now, 34, 35. Whatever Shane Lemieux, whatever his snaps were, I can figure this out. Here, let's see here. Shane Lemieux snaps, there we go, in college. It was 34, 35. Let's see if I found this up here. It was consecutive numbers. That's the amount of snaps he played. There we go, in college. So I'm going to go to NFL. He played over 3,000 snaps in college. NCAA, there we go. There's 34, 35, 35, 36. What the heck was it? 35, 36. Shane Lemieux. 729 in 2016, 939 snaps in 2017, 933 in 2018, and wow, this is amazing. 935, 933, 939. Those are his last 3 seasons. 3,536 snaps, 35, 36. That's the only way I remember that. The numbers are consecutive. 3,536, 35, 36 snaps in college. He comes here, his first season, he played, but then like his second season, he had the partially torn patellar tendon. I mean, he did that in training camp, right? And he played the first quarter against Denver, and his season was over with. And then, okay, maybe a little freaky accident or something, I don't even think it was a non-contact injury either. I think he just hurt it in training. I mean, so the next year rolls around, right? Last year, he comes and he hurts his toe or whatever that is, basically kills us all. I'm like, how do these guys make it through college? Like Elson Smith, they can get him on the field. How do you make it through? How do you make it to high school, college, high school football, peewee? How do you make? All of a sudden, you get to the pros and you can't even walk onto the field without like pulling a hamstring or something. So how do you? Azeez Ojulari. And the funny thing is, Azeez's problem was like, why he fell to the second round, right? They had questions about his knees, a knee or knees. Like I don't know if it was arthritis in the knee or something. But there might have been some kind of question with his knee or knees, like maybe his career may not have, it might affect his career. Like he might only be able to play 4, 5, 6 years or so, maybe because of the problems he has. But the problems he's having has nothing to do with his knees. It's like everything's a soft tissue injury. I mean, how can you? It's just some of this stuff just boggles my mind. Well, play with a broken jaw. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 It's funny because he had the face mask, with the one bar across the top, so the face mask kind of covered here. Then he got his jaw broken against the Saints, and then I guess they did whatever they did or something like that. And he got wired up. I think it was after the game, but whatever they did to him or something, I don't know what it was. And I don't know if that's the game they put the new face mask on him, because then he had the big face mask with the 2 bars going across. But then he walked up behind Parcells, and I think he had something in his mouth, maybe to keep his mouth shut or something, whatever it was. And he kind of like, he bumped into Parcells, and Parcells turns around and looks at him, and Bavaro's like, something like, I'm ready to go. My jaw's broken, but I'm ready to go, coach. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? See, guys like that, Parcells will, do anything for you. Yeah, you know what I mean? You give your all, and he'll do anything for you. I mean, it's just amazing, some of these guys. Oh yeah, simply amazing. But like some of these guys, I don't know how do some of these guys actually stay healthy. I'm sorry, actually can't stay healthy. Some of these guys, it's just simply amazing. Like with all the stuff they got nowadays, with all the training camp and the doctors and the trainers and all this stuff they have and the equipment and everything, it's like, I don't know. It's just some of this stuff. It just boggles my brain. I just get so frustrated talking about it. Some of it is just simply amazing. And I seen this one, and this is a good one here. Talking like, especially if you're thinking about the Giants having a hard time tackling. Now we've missed, I don't know. I saw 29 tackles. I saw 31 tackles, missed tackles. However you want to look at it, Giants missed a lot of tackles over the first 3 games, right? And now they got, they're going to have their hands full. Not only Kenneth Walker, the third, but Charbonnet, right? He's a good running back as well, too. They're both averaging well over 4 yards a carry, right? Walker's 4.3, Charbonnet's 4.6. But Walker's basically, he's the main one. He's got 47 carries for 204 yards. He's got 4 touchdowns. But I'll tell you what, man, they were, some of them a couple of beast mode. I seen some of the Panther game. Man, I'll tell you what. Let me tell you what, boy. The Giants have some problems tackling. And not only Walker, but I mean, if you think about Metcalf too, that guy's a freaking beast. The Giants are, ain't no arm tackling going to be going on Monday night. If they try to do that, there'll be a lot of trouble. Through 3 weeks of the season, the Giants defense has been criticized for its inability to create a pass rush against opposing quarterbacks. Yet the unit's performance against the run hasn't entirely been up to snuff either. Now, but also, to be fair, if you think about it, P-Dot, Paul Dottino, who also mentioned the Giants last year were giving up 5.2 yards per carry. So, I mean, as bad as it's been, the Russian defense, not that they've been, not that they, I guess, what do you want to say? The other team, it hasn't seemed quite as bad as it was last year. Like last year, it seemed like we were giving up a lot more longer runs. We're giving up runs, and it's not very good. But we're only giving up 4.2 yards a carry. So the yards per carry have come down. It's still really nice to come down even a little bit more. Some of it, obviously when San Francisco's up, 30-12, when the Dallas Cowboys are up 3,592 million to nothing. What do we got basketball? Let's just run, But yet this unit's performance against the run hasn't entirely been up to snuff either. And the job only gets tougher against a feisty Seattle Seahawks rushing game led by Kenneth Walker. According to Pro Football Reference, the Giants ranked 29th in the league in rushing attempts, yards, and touchdowns allowed, with the current totals for the latter two categories being twice the size of their backfield's production. Yeah, that's not good either. Their only bright spot has been the amount of yardage surrendered on the average rush, where the team stands in the middle of the pack at 16th overall. So it's gotten the yards per carry have come down. That has gotten better. In the Giants' comeback outing against the Cardinals, the defense fell behind early, partly due to the rushing prowess of James Conner, who gashed through the holes in the interior line to a tune of 23 carries for 106 yards and a touchdown with an average of 4.6 yards. Last Thursday against the 49ers, the numbers didn't improve that significantly as led by Christian McCaffrey dominated the middle with 18 carries for 85 yards and a touchdown. The 49ers had 141 yards rushing. This has led the Giants being ranked 20th in the NFL in run-stop win rate, and the run defense getting another challenge in Walker, who is seeking his third consecutive game with at least one rushing touchdown. The second-year player selected second in last year's draft, Walker career has already put him in the company of best ball carries in franchise history. In his rookie campaign, the Michigan State product ran for 1,050 yards and 9 touchdowns in 15 games, making him the second Seattle Seahawks back to eclipse 1,000 yards and the first to meet that mark in a single season since Chris Carson in 2019. Walker also has tallied 500-yard rushing performances that finished first among the 2022 running back class and pushed the team close to an average of 5 yards per carry by the end of the season. Through his first 3 starts of 2023, Walker has maintained his grip on the Seattle Seahawks rushing stat with 47 total carries for 204 yards and an average rep of 3.3 yards a carry. No, that's now 4.3 yards a carry. That's a typo error there. However, his greatest impact has been felt in the end zone, where the 22-year-old has punched 2 touchdowns on the ground in the last 2 weeks. His feats have him sitting in 12th place in the league's leaderboard for that span, exactly where he finished in his debut season last year. Part of Walker's success in the early portion of the season has been assisted by Seattle's excellent protection up front. And then you figure, you also look at it like this. He's having a good year running the ball, and they had like 4 backup offensive linemen in there last week, and he's still chewing up yards. We got backups in there, and we're absolutely horrible. The Seahawks got backups in there, and they're putting up 37 points against the Panthers. So, it is the Panthers. Sorry. Trying to move my legs. Ugh. Says the rest come from his shiftiness in the scrums and open field, where Walker has forced 14 missed tackles in 3 games, averaged 3.09 yards after contact, and made 6 explosive runs of 10 yards or more. So the Giants are in for, the problem, honestly, right? What do we got? That's somebody crabbing. Yep. And I think if I read correctly, Metcalf is for 6 missed tackles. He's had, was he at 15? One of them's got 15, one's got 13. Let me check. It's right here. Lockett's got 15 and Metcalf's got 13 catches. It's here somewhere. You can trust me. Here we go. All right, we got it. So Metcalf has got 15 and Lockett's got 13. So 15. So on Metcalf's 15 receptions, he's forced 6 missed tackles. That's pretty good. Basically, so what? One out of every 2.5 receptions. So basically, out of every 5 receptions he gets, he forces 2 missed tackles. So you got to figure against the Giants, he's going to get at least 5 catches. So at the rate it's been going, he's going to force at least 2 missed tackles. And then you look at Kenneth Walker. He said he's missed, was it 14 tackles? 14 missed tackles. So that's in 3 games. So he's forcing almost 5 missed tackles a game. So, the Giants have got their hands cut out for him. And the problem here is, of course, it's like, right? Pick your poison. I mean, they're and Jigba has only had 9 receptions so far, right? But I think was it Noah Fant, right? I think he's their tight end. Oh, where are we at here? So you got Lockett, right? Metcalf, Noah Fant, yeah, and then Jigba. So, I mean, the tight end's pretty good. He only has 8 catches too, but he's a reliable tight end. So, I mean, they got, they got some weapons. I mean, I'm not saying so much maybe they're backups. I think the Giants backups might be a little bit better. Our overall team might be better, but if you look at their starters, you got Njigba, right, and Metcalf and Lockett. I mean, pretty good. So the problem is, what do you do, right? You try to take away, the pass a little bit and give up the run, or do you try to stop the run and not worry about, so. And Gino's once again, he's done another very good season. Another very, very good season. I mean, is it 70%? Was he? My bad. 68.9%. It's almost 70. 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. I mean, basically 69% completion percentage. So, he's doing really, really good. John's gonna have the hands cut out, work cut out for him for sure. Absolutely for sure. Pete's team always plays good. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Pete Carroll. He's always solid. Just a solid coach. Really, really good. But the two Super Bowls, they should have won the one, right, against them. Hey, we're down to the 1 yard line or whatever it was, 2 yard line. Hey, let's throw the. I don't want to hand it off to Marshawn Lynch right now. Let's throw a ball. Yeah. But the one game, one of the worst Super Bowls of all time. I mean, the one that actually got played in Jersey when they beat Denver. I mean, that was a horrible game, absolutely horrible game. So I mean, Pete Carroll should definitely have to be considered to be a Hall of Fame coach without question. He only won 1 Super Bowl, right? I believe, because when they went, he wasn't their coach. What was it, 2005? Yeah, 2005 when Big Ben. I think it was when the Steelers beat the Seahawks. Yeah, because he was at USC then. Yeah, so he's been to 2 Super Bowls, but he's won 1. He should have won 2 of them. So he's got to be a Hall of Fame coach to me. Well, but I mean, I guess maybe, I don't know, a little bit, but I mean, heck, if the Giants knew he was going to maybe be this good, maybe they wouldn't have let him go. It is what it is, I'm happy for him. Very surprised because when we got drafted all these years, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, I'm pretty good, I'm sure the Jets are missing him right now. Because you imagine if he was on their team, playing as well as he is right now. They wouldn't have drafted Zach Wilson. They wouldn't have needed Aaron Rodgers. All right. Right. Instead of paying Aaron Rodgers all that money, they could have helped build their team a little bit better. Oh yeah, that'd be a heck of a team if they had Geno. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh yeah. Jets are still looking for a quarterback. Oh man, still looking for a quarterback. Gotta love it. All right. And of course, now I've seen this here. The Giants need to start faster on offense. Oh my God. Absolutely pathetic. Let's see. The Giants offense has picked up where it left off last season, and it's not in a good way. With let's say the Giants, who were outscored by opponents 181 to 151 in the first half of games last year, have continued that trend in 2023, but they've continued it big time. They've been outscored in the first half 63-6 through 3 games. I mean, starting faster is definitely among the items on the Giants' to-do list. Oh, they got so many to do, but 63-6 in the first half. I mean, 63-6. Absolutely unbelievable. All right, then I seen this here. What to expect when the Giants have the ball. This is from Nick Filato. He really breaks stuff down. He does a real good job of breaking stuff down here. Says the Giants host the Seahawks on Monday Night Football. The two teams met in Week 8 last season. Seattle defeated the Giants 27-13. But Seattle had what do they have? 200 and let's see here. There we go. They had 240 yards of offense. I mean, Richie James's 2 punt fumbles gave him 10 points. What do they have? They had 277 yards. I'm sorry, of offense. They did a good job of just shutting down the Giants. Giants had 225 yards, but I mean, the Seattle only had 277 yards. They had 87 yards rushing. I mean, they didn't have much going on, if anything. If you take Richie James's 2 fumbles away, it's a 17-13 game because I think they got a touchdown and a field goal off of his turnovers. So, I mean, they certainly beat us last year without question. They were a better team on the field, but they really walk all over us. Says former Giants wide receiver Richie James muffed 2 punts as the Seahawks defense held the Giants offense at 225 yards, 75 yards more than the Giants earned on Thursday night against the 49ers. Daniel Jones completed 17 of 31 passes for 176 yards with 20 yards on the ground. He was sacked 5 times. This is last year. Saquon scored the lone Giants touchdown. The star running back is questionable for the game with a high ankle sprain. New York is hoping for a return of star tackle Andrew Thomas. I don't know about that, but we'll have to say he's optimistic about playing on Monday. And left guard Ben Bredesen should clear concussion protocol. Giants desperately need for the offensive line to stabilize. Yeah, well, they gotta stabilize the injuries. They got right. Guys got to stay healthy. Seahawks defense has found health at a Week 4. Jamal Adams is trending to play on Monday. Former Jets safety hasn't seen live action in a football game since tearing his quadricep muscle in Week 1 last year. That sounds painful. Wow. According to head coach Pete Carroll, second-year cornerback Kobe Bryant and Woolen are looking positive for Week 4. The former missed Week 3 with a toe injury, and the latter missed with a chest issue. Trey Brown, the cornerback, left Week 3 and is in concussion protocol. Defensive lineman Darrell Taylor and Draymond Jones left Week 3 with the lower body injuries and is uncertain if they'll play, but Carroll suggested that Taylor could be okay for Week 4. Seattle's defensive statistics. Seahawks allowed 407 total yards per game through 3 weeks. So they've had some guys banged up though. So you got but they've been able to be passed on. So that is tied for the 3rd worst in the league with the Bears and just ahead of the Los Angeles Chargers and the Denver Broncos. They're 29th in the league in scoring defense, allowing 29.3 points per game. They're just ahead of the Giants, who are ranked 30th in the scoring defense. Seattle's front has done well to bottle up the Rams, Lions, and Panthers. Their rushing attack. The Seahawks are 6th in rushing yards surrendered, only allowing 79.3 rushing yards per game. However, the secondary for defensive coordinator Clint Hurt ranks 31st in passing yards allowed. They currently are allowing 328 passing yards per game. So if the Giants are going to air it out a little bit, this might be the week to do that. They will likely be receiving much-needed reinforcements on Monday night. The Seahawks have 5 total sacks on the season, which puts them in the bottom third of the league. So, we're not talking, they're not going up against, the Giants ain't going up against the Cowboys pass rush. They're not going up against the 49ers pass rush. However, if they're getting Adams back, Adams does like the blitz, cause havoc in the backfield. So, let's see here. It says Seattle's philosophy. Seattle stifled Daniel Jones and Brian Dable-led offense in 2022. The Seahawks' approach wasn't dissimilar to a typical Pete Carroll coach defense. Seattle primarily used cover 3 and cover 6 with a combination of fire zone blitzes, simulated pressures, and surprise creeper pressures to get pressure on Jones. And they had 5 sacks last season. Seahawks only blitzed on 18 of the Giants' 65 plays last season. New York started Tyree Phillips at right tackle and Joshua Zudu at left guard. So we had some weaknesses on the offensive line, and the Seattle Seahawks exploited that last year. That's for sure. And of course, Evan Neal and Ben Bredesen were injured. As we saw in the first sack above, they showed a video. Seattle wasn't buying the Giants' play-action bootleg, which is a difficult reality experience by Giants in the current season. Yeah, the Giants, the thing is with the Giants, they do good on play action, but the thing is with play action, right, is the other team has to buy into it. You have to get the snap, turn around, and you got to freeze the linebackers or what. Is that a handoff? What do we got going on there? Okay, it's a play action, and they start backing up or whatever. You get that split second. Sometimes that split second's all you need to get somebody behind the linebackers or pass somebody or break free. That's all you need. But if the defense ain't buying the play action, you snap the ball and they just drop it in the zones or whatever. They don't care. Daniel Jones makes it look like he's going to hand off to Breida. The defense don't give a rat's rear end. The play action ain't working. You got to, that's why having Saquon in there is, because Saquon back there, right? Daniel Jones turning around like this, and anything, whether he's going to hand it off or not. If he's got the ball and he's going around like this, okay, and Saquon standing right behind him, damn well right. Those linebackers are like, what's going on back there? Okay, it's a pass. And make it, what I mean? But like last week, when you're down, 40-0 to the Cowboys. The linebackers or whatever, they're not freezing. They're like, what's going on back here? Is that a run? Nah. Right? If they got pass coverage, they're just dropping in the pass coverage. You want to hand it off? All right, okay, we'll rally up. We'll tackle you. We'll give you 5, 6, 7 yards. Bring it down. Keep the clock running. Keep the clock running. Keep the clock running, right? All right, we'll line back up again. You go snap the ball. We'll go back into our zone. You hand the ball off. You get 5, 6, 7 yards. We'll rally up, make the tackle, bring it down, keep the clock running, right? When you're down 40-0, hey, let's establish the run, right? Nah, you're passing. Same thing with the 49ers. Right? You're down 30-12. What do you got to do? You got to pass the ball. So the play action for the Giants is good, but it helps if you have Saquon back there, right? And also helps if you're not down 40-0 too. So that's another one of the reasons why if the Giants could just, I'm not saying they got to go up 17-0 or something like that, but at least score a touchdown, right? And then maybe in the second quarter get another touchdown. Even if you're down 17-14 at halftime, okay, you're in the game, right? And the play action will still work. But when you're down like 3 scores, right? There's only so much that you're going to do. Seattle's front fit counter well bottled up the duo, was disciplined on the edge. Let's see. The Seahawks used dime personnel on third down and the nickel for most of the game. New York may look to work outside with crack toss plays behind Andrew Thomas, if he's there, to avoid running inside the tackle box. The Giants did use a lead play against the 49ers with Marcus McKeithen as the pulling guard. He says, I expect the Giants to try to counter run, but quickly look to adjust if Seattle plays it well as last season. The Seahawks are known for their offensive skill players, but their defensive players are savvy and tough. Well, Bobby Wagner, he's the Hall of Famer in the making right there. Bobby Wagner isn't the athlete he was once because he's 33 years old, but he's one of the smartest linebackers in the league without question. Oh, yeah. Wagner leads the Seahawks in tackles and only has one missed tackle. That's freaking, the dude is unbelievable. He also has 15 stops, which ties for fourth in the NFL. Former first-round pick Jordan Brooks typically aligns as the weak side linebacker and does a solid job in pursuit. Jamal Adams joins a very formidable pair of safeties in former Giants captain Julian Love, right, and Quandre Diggs. Love has 3 passes defended on the season. However, Love currently has a 16. Oh, yeah, he missed a tackle horribly last week. Oh, my God, I can't remember who it was. Somebody faked him out of his jockstrap. Let me tell you, who was that? I think it was on a touchdown pass too. Somebody caught it and he put a move on J Love with special sauce, and oh my God, it was embarrassing. He missed the tackle so bad. Oh, it was embarrassing. So Love has a 16.1% missed tackle rate. That's pretty bad. It's a small sample size, though, and an anomaly in regard to his career statistics. Seattle is receiving reinforcements at cornerback with the possible return of Woolen and Kobe Bryant. Panthers quarterback Andy Dalton threw for 361 yards against them, although they had a bunch of guys injured. But for the Panthers, at 361 yards, I mean, Andy Dalton with the team that the Panthers have, that's pretty impressive. And he had 2 touchdowns against the secondary without those 2 players. And he 58 pass attempts, too. He was throwing it. Even with Bryant's return, rookie top 10 cornerback Devin Witherspoon will start opposite Woolen. Like Love, Witherspoon also has 3 pass defense in just 2 games and looks to be part of an alpha cornerback in the league. Let's see here. Defensive lineman Jaron Reed and Mario Edwards Jr. harassed Andy Dalton through week 3. Reed leads the Seahawks with 11 pressures. Edwards has 10. And edge defenders, Bowie Maffa, they have 9. The edge room is explosive, quick, and operates properly together while executing twists along with defensive line. So it's one thing the Giants sometimes have had some problems in the past with some stunts and twists. Says the Giants' strategy. In last season matchup, the Giants went 3 and out on their first 3 drives. Oh, my God, they can't do that this week. After picking up a 3rd and 5 on their 4th possession, a false start penalty put them behind the sticks, and they eventually punted. New York only found the end zone on offense because of an Adoree Jackson. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's when Adoree Jackson stripped Tyler Lockett at like the 3-yard line. And that was the only way the Giants found the end zone. So, I mean, horrible job last year. Absolutely horrible job on offense. Let's see here. Since last year's matchup, the Giants added speed. Springing a player like Waller free on a wheel route would be difficult since the Seattle's defense attention will be focused on the 31-year-old veteran. The 49er gave Waller a little breathing room. He was bracketed inside and out throughout most of the game and finished with just 3 catches for 20 yards. And, of course, protecting Daniel Jones is critical. The Giants shouldn't have to use as many resources and protection, and the offensive line is healthy. This should give the Giants more options with their quick passing attack. Cover 3s has its vulnerabilities in the flat and up the seam, and as well as between the zones. So if the protection is better, the Giants must threaten Seattle vertically with Hyatt, or Slayton. Teams play the Giants offense tight, top down, which means the defense is driving underneath on their quick game, which is another one of the reasons why, somebody like Paris Campbell, he's getting some catches, but they're like short passes, right? I mean, Daniel Jones drops back. Paris Campbell's 3-4 yards down the field. He dumps it off, and the defense is there to bring him down. Let's see here. Although the Giants must be careful with a 5-man empty protection, New York will likely employ the drive series of plays and the 12 personnel speed stack that provided success for the Giants in week 2. Even without Saquon Barkley, the Giants should attempt to establish the run more than they did on Thursday night. I mean, my God, they didn't even run the ball at all. I think they would have 7 rushing attempts from their running backs. Holy cow. The Giants can flood zones and find other passing options. If Seattle plays Waller like the 49ers, then maybe the rhythmic passing attack we witnessed last season will start to flourish. And if the Giants succeed through their quick game, that should help New York gas plays deep through double moves or their speed. And he's got final thoughts. It's early in the season, but the Giants find themselves in an almost must-win primetime game entering week 4. New York has a tough schedule ahead. They got to play the Dolphins, the Bills, and then the Commanders and the Jets over the next 4 weeks. Giants want to secure a wild card spot in the NFC. They'll be likely competing with the Seahawks. Yep, because, I mean, unless the 49ers get totally decimated by injuries, I have a hard time believing anybody's going to beat the 49ers in the West. So this is going to be a huge game for the Giants because head-to-head, I think one of the things is the head-to-head, right? So, I mean, if somehow the Giants turn this around and they wind up whatever, a 10-7 mark, or whatever, and they're battling, Seattle's going to be one of those teams. Unless Seattle just gets totally decimated by injuries, I think Seattle will certainly be one of those teams bidding for a wild card spot, as I said. Because the Giants, don't want to sound like a negative Nancy, but they're, they're not going to be bidding for a division, right? They're going to be bidding hopefully for a playoff spot, a wild card. I can see the same thing with the Seahawks. So this is going to be a huge game. And the Giants are just lucky. Last season, their loss to the Lions didn't come back to bite them in the butt because the Lions, I think, finished 9-8. I think it was, and the Giants were 9-7-1 because if it wound up, they were both 9-8. I think head to head's the first one, and the Lions would have got that. Might have knocked the Giants out of the playoffs. So this would be a huge game. So. Let's see. What I definitely want to see, obviously, is more of the run. I like to see Daniel Jones run some more too, get his legs involved, but also, take some shots, go deep. Let's see if Hyatt can open some stuff up because it's once again it's the Einstein theory of relativity. Everything's relative. You put Jalen Hyatt out there, right? If somehow whatever. You keep 5 guys in, maybe running back in, to pass protect, keep 6 guys in, and you send Hyatt just deep. Well, what's it going to back him up? So every time Hyatt's on the field, right, they're going to be conscious of that. It's going to help maybe back him up, open up stuff maybe underneath, right? It's going to be tough. What we got? The offensive line prohibits big play. That's the thing. You know what I mean? That's the problem. It's once again it's a theory of relativity. You can keep 9 guys in to pass protect. Daniel Jones will be back there. Probably won't get sacked, but you're only gonna have 1 guy in the route, right? Or you can have 5 guys. You can send 5 guys out in the route, but then Daniel Jones might only have 2 seconds to throw the football. So it's kind of. Unfortunately, if we were like the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line, Jalen Hurts can go back there to pass. We have 5 guys in there, right? Nobody's getting past Lane Johnson. He hasn't given up a sack since Jesus Christ walked the earth, right? The rest of their offensive linemen are really, really good. So Jalen Hurts can go back there and stand back there and wait for somebody to get open, complete a pass. Oh, Jalen Hurts, he's so good. Oh my God. Well, a lot of people will be pretty good with standing behind the Eagles offensive line, right? So it's tough. Of course, then it's everything's it's matchups, right? It's matchups. Is this the time we decide to keep 6 or 7 guys in the max protect, right? And then they only send 4 guys, and they got 7 guys, and they got 3 guys real deep. So even if Jalen Hyatt does go deep, they got 3 safeties or whatever deep to cover them. So we might only have like 3 guys out in the pass coverage, and they got 7 guys to cover 3. But Daniel Jones is just standing back there. It's it's all, it's a matchup. Or is this the one time, they try to maybe send Jalen Hyatt deep. We only keep 5 guys in. We keep a bunch of guys out in the pass. But this is the one down that they blitz. So we're going to send Jalen Hyatt deep, maybe try to throw it deep. But as soon as Daniel Jones gets the ball, he's got 7 guys in the backfield ready to rip his head off. And of course, once again, if you don't got a running game, that's why if you can run the ball, that's huge, right? The Giants just haven't, they had that one half, right? The one half against the Cardinals. They did good. Saquon had some good runs. Obviously, the passing attack was phenomenal, but we have against the 49ers, we didn't run the ball, didn't have enough time to throw deep. Against the Cowboys, that was just what a mess. So it's gonna be a tough game. I mean, as I said that, even the Giants score some points. I mean, the Seahawks have been scoring some points as well too. 37 points the last 2 games. I mean, even against the Lions, I was in overtime now too. But RPO power runs and West Coast passing the concepts. Well, the West Coast get quick stuff, quick. Try to get it quick. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I said, I mean, we can try to get Daniel Jones in there because I forgot who it was talking about Daniel Jones. He's not, let's get him going because he's a good athlete. And sometimes he's faster than some of those guys out there. Right. So he's a good option. But I said, Daniel Jones is very good on play action. But I said before is that, if they got a big lead or if they're not, if they're not buying the running game or not like that, the play action doesn't work so well. It works pretty good if you got Saquon Barkley back there. But then once again, the thing is with Saquon is that if he comes back, say he's 75, 80%. I mean, if you chop Saquon's leg off, Saquon, you ready to go this week? Yeah. Saquon will go out there with one leg. If Saquon's ankles, but if Saquon wants to go out there no matter what. But if he goes out there at 75%, he tries to run and he hurts it. Do you want Saquon Barkley at 70% for the next 6 weeks? Or do you want to have him take another 2 weeks off and have him come back at 95% in a couple of weeks? So that's, once again, that's, what do you do? But then again, of course, if he comes back in 2 or 3 weeks and he's 100%, well, we might be 1-5 by then. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. No. The only complimentary this week so far this season has been the other teams. They've had some very good complimentary football. Other than that, and it's just so kind of like weird because it's like like last year. Remember, we looked, we beat the Titans in week 1. We came from behind and all that. Early on, we beat the Packers, right? We beat the Ravens. We beat some of the crappy teams. We beat the Bears. We beat the Texans. We beat the Jaguars before they really started getting good. Man, oh yeah, hard to watch, but guys our age have seen this before. Yep, unfortunately. Yep. All right, guys, been 1 hour, minute 13, an hour and 13. I think it might be a new record. 1 hour and 13 minutes. So whoever spent any time listening to me, as always, Jersey guys, we'll see you tomorrow night, right? So whoever spent any time listening to me live, thank you. Or if anybody spends any time watching the replay this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo!